Hey everybody, it's JoeDoom back for another video. Today is VEDA Day 28, and today I'm going to be talking about all the different things that I use to create my videos. Starting with the camera that is being used right now. It is a Sony 4K Handycam. I'm not sure of the model number, but it is one of my best tools for making videos. What I like about this camera in particular is the fact that there is a lens on the inside that is almost like an eyeball that actually moves as it detects motion, so it makes it a lot smoother and not as bumpy. So that's what drew me to this camera. And on top I have, it's a Sony microphone that goes on top, and it's a hot shoe item. So instead of using an audio cable to connect the microphone to the camera, it actually connects directly to the camera on top. Normally where a flash would go on a camera, but this is a microphone. I'm also using this tripod. I'm not sure what brand it is actually, but this tripod is very important, otherwise I'd be trying to jerry-rig my camera somewhere. I'm good at jerry-rigging, but when it comes to videos, I want it to be stable, and so that's why I have this tripod. Moving on, I have the Samsung G-Track Pro, and I primarily use this microphone whenever I do my gameplay videos. Normally it's set up over here, and when I'm facing the TV over here, I'll have the microphone right here. And I can adjust the audio levels from here, which is what I really like about it. It's also got a bunch of features that I can play with while I'm recording or before I get started. It also has some features in the back which I really like, but I don't really use them that much for when I do recording. And I have it on this little tiny microphone stand. And it's not as big as normal stands, because they have that extra... they're about this tall on average, and then they have that extra boom arm, but this one's just the boom arm from the base. Moving on. One of the biggest and most important pieces of my work is my Alienware laptop. It is where I do all my editing. I run Adobe Premiere Pro as my editing software, and when I do game captures, I use a program called Elgato, and that's how I capture my game captures. And I don't know if you can see it, but let's see if I can move this without disconnecting anything. This little device right back here is the game capture device. Uh-oh, I unplugged it. Oh well. Alright, now that I have that back up and running, because I like this in my background, over here I have an HDMI switcher, 4 ports, and it automatically figures out which input I'm using. I almost said import, that's not correct. Behind here, I have my Nintendo Switch in its dock, and that also runs into the HDMI switcher. The, what is it, my PS4 Pro and my Nintendo Switch. And I also have an HDMI cable going into my laptop, but I only do that if I'm doing gameplay of like Doom or something like that. But that's all connected to the HDMI switcher, which is then connected to my Elgato game capture device. Oh, I forgot to mention about my sound recording. When I'm doing gameplay on my laptop, I have a software program called, I think it's called Sound Deck. And that's what I use for my recordings. Moving on. It's a Samsung TV. It's a very small one. I don't think they make them this small anymore, but I got this a while ago, and it's perfect for the setup that it is right now. Right here I have a Bose speaker, which I use to play the audio. And what I do is I have not an HDMI splitter, what am I saying? I have an audio splitter right here that connects to the back of the TV where the headphones would go, and I have one outlet going into the Bose speaker, and the other one I'll plug into headphones and put the headphones on my Samsung G-Track Pro microphone, so that way I can get audio to sync up for when I do gameplay. And trust me, I've not done that before, and it was a pain to match up because there was no sync point. So I just had to go with, you know, intuition and stuff like that. Trust me, if you're going to do gameplay videos, I highly recommend you get audio tracks that you can sync up. Trust me, it's worth it. Moving on, I have a Blu-ray player down here that I hardly ever use, primarily because I moved my PlayStation 4 in here, my PS4 Pro, and I'm not going to move the camera this time, but if you watched the video of when I described all the game consoles that I've owned, over here is where my PS4 Pro is located, just like right next to my my Microsoft Surface. But I'll get to that in a minute. Also back here I have another HDMI switcher, and that's if I want to switch the TV input from the Elgato capture to my Apple TV or to the Blu-ray player. Moving on, I have the Microsoft Surface right here, and I have it in its dock, and I have all sorts of cables and stuff connected here. But this is not really for any of my videos. The only thing I really do here for my videos is I like to have my YouTube page up. So that's just something I like to do. There's no real reason behind it. But yeah, but when I am doing stuff, when I'm not recording and I'm playing games, or if I'm editing and stuff like that, I use this to do research. So I'll be playing games or watching a movie, I'll be editing at the same time, and if I need to look something up, that's what the Surface is for. And that is my ideal setup. Moving on over here, which you cannot see, is my PS4 Pro, also connected to the PlayStation VR. I also have my controllers and stuff over here charging. And I have some other gadgets over here that's not specifically for my videos, like, you know, like a printer and stuff like that, and mess. I got a whole lot of cables that I have, and I actually have them mostly put away right now. Some of the other devices I have back here are some more Bose speakers. I forget what this is called. I think this is called a Revolve. And it's got great audio. I actually have my Surface hooked up to this one. I have another one back there. And yeah, the other one back there is used for connecting to my laptop. So those are those. I'll put that back later. And these are my Bose headphones that I use whenever I'm doing gameplay. This is what I use to do the audio sync. I'll plug this end into that audio splitter, and then I'll just put the ear cuff right on the microphone. That way it picks it up. But when I'm not doing recording and stuff, this is what I use all the time. I will actually plug these in to the back of the microphone because it has a headphone jack in there, and I can control the volume of the headset. So I normally have that plugged into my PS4 Pro, and that will become my microphone. And of course, this will be where the audio comes out of. And it's a great setup, so that way I could just set it in PlayStation settings, and then I can fine tune it on the microphone itself. I used to have one of those headsets that was like the one thing on the ear, and then the microphone would come down here, and that was great, but I much prefer this, especially since these are so comfy. And these are noise canceling, but I don't turn them on because I just prefer not to have them on. Anything else as far as my setup? I do have remotes for just about every single one of these devices. The only one that I actually really use is the TV remote, because when I turn on my PS4, it turns on just about everything else. But when I turn it off, the only thing that stays on is the TV. So that's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is, and I can't complain too much because it's an awesome setup in my opinion. I do wish I had another screen because that way I could be editing on my computer. I could be watching something like a movie on one screen. I could be playing video games on the other screen, and I could be doing research on my Surface. And people say, how can you do all of that at once? Trust me, I can. If you ever take classes at a TV studio, you will understand that you will be able to do it. Because you have a wall of monitors that you are looking at, and they're all different. And say like you're directing, or you're the... let's just stick with directing right now. You're looking at everything, trying to figure out what would be the best shot. Say like you're the technical director with the big switcher board. You have to know, you just basically have to listen to the director for what they tell you to do, but it's going to know which buttons correspond to which screens. But anyways, I'm just rambling now. This is my setup, and I am very proud of it. In my opinion, this is a geek's setup, and I consider myself a mild geek. I mean, there are some people that are out there that are like super into technology and have like 8 screens and they all correspond together, and that way they can be an immersive experience. I could do that, but I'm not, because 1, I don't have that many monitors. 2, I don't really want to do that. It would be awesome to experience, but I don't want to do it. And 3, that's not my setup. This is my setup. If I had another screen, that'd be great. Oh, there is one other thing I would like to have in my setup. Instead of having this this tarp here, I would love it if I had an LG wallpaper TV up there. That would be amazing. Plus the second screen down here. So I don't know what I do at the same time. Sometimes I might just turn most of them off and watch the LG wallpaper in like a theater mode, because right now I'm sitting in my chair, which you can't really see, and that's done on purpose. But it's a big, comfortable chair. It's, what is it called? It's called a chair and a half or something like that, but it is big, it is comfortable. I just wish it reclined a little bit. That'd be awesome, but it doesn't. But I don't care because it's super comfortable. And yeah. Anyways, I'm done rambling. This is my setup. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.